Hello, everyone. My name is Wendy Castro-Harris, and I'm the Director of Nutrition at Better For You Meals. In this presentation, I'll be going over the school nutrition waivers available for your school to use for this new school year. So let's dive right in. So I will be explaining the key differences between summer and fall feeding. I'll be explaining why these meal waivers are relevant for your school. I'll be comparing the current waivers that we have now in the summer and the approved waivers for the fall. I'll be going over a deep dive of those 5 approved waivers and briefly touch on those that we're still hoping for. And I'll also be sharing information on how your school can opt into these accepted waivers. Some of the key differences between summer and fall feeding is, so currently in the summer and over the last few months when we had school closures, all of your sites were serving meals under the Seamless Summer or the Summer Food Service Program. That means that all children 18 and younger ate free. So in addition to that, meals could be picked up by families at any nearby location. So they didn't have to necessarily go pick up at the school that their child attended. They could really go anywhere. However, this will be changing for the new school year. So starting on your first day of fall, you will officially be serving meals under your respective child nutrition program. So either the school breakfast program, the National School Lunch Program, or the CACFP, depending on which program your site is typically using during the regular school year. So that also means that meals must be tracked, claimed, and charged based on student eligibility. So either free, reduced price, or paid. The only exception to this would be the schools that participate in either CEP or one of the provisions. So for everyone else, you'll still have to collect your school meal applications from your parents to determine which students are free, reduced price, or paid, so that you can go ahead and start claiming those meals correctly on the first day of school. And one of the biggest barriers that we foresee is that families can only pick up meals at the school that the student attends. So we realize that this is a challenge, and we're hoping that there will be changes in the future. But so far, I want to make sure that you guys are clear on that. Because you are using your POS system to claim the meals that are taken, the students cannot go to like any other location other than the school which they attend. So the purpose of the extended meal waivers are quite a few. Some of the main are that these 5 waivers were approved to provide flexibilities for your schools. We really don't know what kind of unforeseen challenges we'll be facing this new school year. We may face future closures that we weren't expecting. We may face challenges with our food supply chain. We really just have no idea. So these waivers are in place so that your schools can focus on your reopening plan for your students and their education, while still providing a way for them to pick up meals as available to them. So it's also understood that schools are considering the needs of their community while creating these plans. So these waivers are really just meant to make things easier for you. And with food insecurity on the rise, a main goal of these waivers is to continue to provide meals to students with as few barriers as possible. So I'm sure that you guys have heard some of your families or maybe your communities really express food insecurity, the challenges that come with having to have kids at home every single day and having to feed them all of the meals that they would have gotten at school. So as you can see here in this chart, last year in June, we served just over 8,000 meals. And this year in June, we served well over 35,000. So that being said, many families need school meals. Many kids need the meals that you will be providing. So it's really important that we do whatever we can to make sure that food is accessible to them. So same kind of thing in July, we had less than 2,000 meals that were taken in the summer. And this year we had, close to 30,000. So hopefully that will help inspire us to get creative and to continue pushing the limits when it comes to feeding kids this school year. So some of the waivers that we have this school year, or that we had over the summer and during the emergency months during school closures, were that schools were allowed to serve outside of the standard meal times, serving meals in non-congregate settings to support physical distancing. Parents were allowed to pick up meals, and there was some meal pattern flexibility as well. And currently, there are still some schools that are serving weekend meals. And up through June 30th, schools were allowed to serve after-school meals without the need for an after-school enrichment component. So that means that, schools could offer supper to their kids if that was a need that their community had. And lastly, though there are many more waivers, but these are just the ones that we'll be focusing on today. All sites, no matter where they were located, were able to serve free meals to all children 18 and younger. So this will be ending either on the first day of your fall semester or on August 31st. So whichever is sooner, that's when this particular waiver will end and when you'll start serving under the school breakfast program, National School Lunch Program, or CACFP. And again, if we get any updates on this, we'll definitely let you know. This is just the information that we have as of now. And these 4 that are in green are actually some that will continue on with us through the fall. So we're really happy to see that at least some of these really great waivers will be continued for a whole year. So these are the 5. The 4 I just went over, the meal pattern flexibilities, serving non-congregate meals, serving outside of those standard times, allowing parents to pick up meals for kids. And this 5th one is actually brand new. And this allows for high schools to serve outside of the offer versus serve meal pattern for lunch. So for many of you that are planning a grab and go or that are planning to continue doing prepackaged meals, this will really help out and make things a lot easier. So we were happy to see that. And as I mentioned, these are all effective through June 30th, 2021. So some of the waivers that are not yet approved that we're really hoping to see are free universal feeding, and that is basically free meals for all kids, no matter where. And that'll mean that, just like these last months, families can pick up meals anywhere, at any location that's offering meals. And it will be at no cost to them. So again, trying to, offer meals with as little barriers as possible. And then that second one that we really want to see is the ability to serve those after-school meals without the need for enrichment. So at this time, most schools have no idea if they're going to be able to offer an after-school program. However, we understand that, like I mentioned, there is such a huge rate of food insecurity right now. So offering that 3rd meal could make a huge difference for many families. So we're really hoping to see these 2. And again, if we find out any information before the start of the new school year, we will let you know. Starting with the first waiver, so meal pattern flexibilities. This waives the requirement to serve meals under the meal pattern that they would otherwise fall under, so school breakfast, school lunch, and CACFP. So that's everything in terms of calories, subgroups, food groups, and the minimum amounts that are needed to be served. However, the CDE has made it a point that they want to see the meals that are served to be as close as a school meal pattern as possible. Because we want to make sure that kids are, they're getting fed, but that they're also getting, enough food. However, many of you that participate in offer versus serve know that when kids go through the line, they often do not take all 5 of the food groups or all of the single items that are offered. So this provides flexibility so that you can offer a little bit less if you have limitations like space or if you use a vendor, like in our case, all of our Better For You meals, we have limitations as well in terms of storage and transportation. So yeah, it's so many factors that go into this, but we're really grateful to see those flexibilities so that we can, make it a priority to still feed kids as well as we possibly can. And this, of course, will also be helpful in case of any future pandemic challenges. So as I mentioned earlier, if we face any food supply chain issues in the future, we had a milk shortage just a few months ago, and the CDE has told me that they have no idea what the meat supply will be like this school year because of so many animal agriculture plants that had to be closed during these last few months. There might be a shortage that we'll be seeing. So we just have no idea what this year will look like, and these waivers will provide some flexibility in terms of how we continue to be flexible and serve meals throughout the year. And so for this particular waiver, your school will have to opt in. Just if you were serving meals, you had to do so over the last few months as well. However, that form will be changing. The one that you were using previously will not be the one that will be used. And that's straight from the CDE. They let me know because I checked in with them and I just wanted an update. So as soon as they have a new form, they'll be emailing you all. But please don't fill it out before talking to us. So again, we want to make sure that we guide you in filling it out in a way that makes sense for our limitations because we're the ones that are purchasing everything. So let's definitely chat whenever that time comes, and we will assist you all in how to complete that. The second waiver is serving non-congregate meals. And this allows for schools to serve meals to students in non-group settings. So this will be helpful for kids so that they can take meals home, so that they can eat meals off campus. And the main thing is so that physical distancing can continue to be adhered. So as we've been mentioning all along, the overall goal of all waivers, but specifically this one, is to increase food access for students while reducing potential exposure to COVID-19. The third is flexibilities with meal service times. Though it's a little bit more of a simple waiver, it's still super vital, and we're grateful for it because schools will be able to serve meals outside of standard meal times all year. So this means that kids are able to take multiple meals home. They can take breakfast and lunch and hopefully supper if that gets approved. They can, you all schools can send home meals with the students. So if they are on campus partial time, like 1 or 2 days, then they can take meals home for the rest of the week. And if your community decides or is vocal to you about the meal times that you set out, to let you know that it's really not working for them. Like if you're serving between 7 and 10 a.m. and families just can't go, then this allows you the flexibility to talk to your community and see what works better for them so that families can easily grab meals from your location. So really awesome that we have this waiver as well. The fourth is allowing parent and guardian pickups. And this is so parents can continue to pick up meals for their children without the children being present. So though this isn't required, it is strongly encouraged by state health officials for your school to opt into this waiver because it really helps to reduce exposure of COVID-19. Schools, really all you need to do is have a plan in place listing how you will maintain your program integrity. So how you'll take accountability of meals and how you'll prevent and avoid duplicate meal distribution for families. So those are only 2 examples, but definitely just chat with us if you can't think of exactly, what your plan could look like. Talk to your rep from Better For You Meals so that they can help you create this if you haven't already. And this fifth one is allowing offer versus serve flexibility for high schools. So as I mentioned previously, high schools are not required to participate in offer versus serve for lunch this year. That doesn't mean that your school cannot be offer versus serve. This just means that you don't have to if you don't want to, and if it doesn't make sense for the type of service that you are participating in. So this allows for meals to be prepackaged and served efficiently. It reduces physical contact between participants and staff because, as you probably noticed during the school year, when kids, they tend to linger, trying to decide, if they want the extra veggies, if they want the extra fruit or milk. So it really helps speed up the line, and it also helps just reduce that contact. It provides ease during meal distribution. Again, like if you're serving a grab and go, or if you're doing a drive-through pickup, or if any of you have a school bus that is going to common areas near your community for school pickup or for meal pickups, then it's really hard to do offer versus serve because families can't really see all of the different options. So this provides some flexibility in that. And it overall just aligns with the parent meal pickups waiver. Opting into these waivers is very simple. We don't have 100% accurate information as of this time because the CDE is still coming up with their information that they will share with us soon. As I mentioned, the meal pattern waiver will be a new form, and we'll find out that information hopefully in a few days, or I know some of you are starting school just in a couple of weeks, so we'll definitely have that information sooner rather than later based on what they've shared with us. The waiver for non-congregate meals is simple also. So we are assuming that this is going to continue being this way. So if we find out any differences in how the CDE wants you to request this waiver, then again, we'll let you know. But as of now, we still have the information that you will share, that you'll email the email here on the screen, and you'll update that on your CNIPs. And this is also exactly the same for the meal service time flexibility. And if you're CACFP, then there actually is a little form that you would fill out. And if any of you need the link to that, I can share that, though I'm going to wait a little bit because I want to make sure that those are the correct links and that they're not going to get updated. The fourth, the waiver for the parent guardian meal pickups. As I mentioned, no need to opt in. You just need to have a plan in place to retain that program integrity. And the fifth waiver, which is the offer versus serve flexibility for high school lunch, is TBD. I'm thinking, based on my experience with the CDE, that they're either going to have a form or an email that you'll have to contact to let them know, and that you'll update on your CNIPs as well, so that that's documented somewhere, especially since they are still continuing to audit this school year. We want to make sure that everything is aligned. However, we don't have 100% accurate information, as I mentioned previously, so we will wait and see, and you all will get updates from the CDE as they share this information. So please make sure that you're checking your inboxes, and if there's anything that you ever have questions about, you can reach out to the CDE directly, or you can always reach out to me as well, and my contact info will be in the next screen. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope that this was helpful in breaking down some of those waivers. And should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help you in whatever way I can. And if I don't know the answer, I always reach out to the CDE because sometimes they don't even quite know, especially during these times. It's so different than anything we've ever had to go through. So we're all in this together, and we're so grateful for you for choosing Better For You Meals as your vendor. And we hope to help you through this process and hope that you guys are all doing well.